Revolver Underground.
What's going on, guys? It's E-Rock, Revolver Underground, doing another Skype interview, and I'm here with Varna. What's going on, guys?
Hey!
Hey! Real quick, go through and introduce everybody for me.
I'm Ross. I'm the lead guitarist.
I'm Tiana. I do vocals.
I'm Robin. I'm the bass player.
And I'm Rob. I like the beat stuff.
Oh, that's awkward. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that then. Very nice to have you guys on this this here little Skype thing I do. So, Varna, how did this name come about?
It was actually the street of our rehearsal studio that was located on, and he's from Bulgaria, and so Varna is the biggest city in Bulgaria.
Nice.
Yeah. One of them. And Varna happened to be in one of my favorite books, which is Interview with the Vampire.
Ah, yes.
Nice. So we kind of took it as like a sign, you know?
Well, it works, I think. And it sounds really cool. It just sounds like something you can chant. Varna, Varna.
Yes.
That was our test for band name test. If you can chant it, if it's two syllable, it works. If not,
Absolutely. That's when I first started doing the band thing. I had a long list of band names, and that's how I chose. I was like, well, can I chant this? No, it's 45 syllables. No, I probably can't chant that. That's not going to work out. So yeah, that's very nice.
That was a problem with our original name, which was Living Eulogy.
Yeah, that would take way too long. That would take way too long to
people
chant
didn't
that.
understand it. They don't know how to write it.
Yeah, that's just...
No one knew how to spell eulogy for some reason.
That would have been my problem.
It was really bad.
Yeah,
so.
I would have screwed that up drastically. So Varna works out very well. Yeah, very nice job. So where you guys all from? Well, we already covered that one. Yes, we got that one.
We're from LA, mostly. Besides Robin, he's from Texas.
Cool.
But we all live in LA.
LA. Hey, that's where we're at too. Rock and roll. I love LA. Actually, I just moved here from Nashville. I got an ear problem here. We're going on. I got these new earbuds, and I'm not sure if I like them yet. So sorry about that. But about 5 months ago, moved here from Nashville, Tennessee. And so we're still trying to understand LA. It's a whole different world over here, but I'm digging it. I like it. I like being able to just go to the beach and hang out whenever I want to. So that's pretty cool. But
yeah, weather's cool here.
Oh, it's so much. I'm actually from the Midwest, and right now there's tons of snow going on over there. And I sit back and
that one.
Oh, dude, I just laugh at them. I send them videos of me just laughing. That's just all I'm doing in the whole video. I'm just laughing at them while I'm walking on the beach and doing all this other stuff. They're shoveling out snow, and I'm just sitting here shoveling sand, and it's good.
Exactly.
They hate me, but I don't care. It's fine. Anywho, so you guys all got together and decided, hey, let's start a band. How did that work out for you?
Well, actually, Ross and we were originally in a band, as we said, Living Eulogy. And then we found Robin here online, and I used to go to Musicians Institute, and that's where I found Rob, our drummer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been doing this?
It's actually Ross and I's 3-year band anniversary.
Wow.
So, yeah, tentatively 3 years.
Nice. That's a pretty good run right there. That's doing really well.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this show for about almost 5 years, and it is I consider it like a band, except I'm the only one doing all the work, which really makes me mad. But I get that. I get that whole working hard for doing what you're doing. So rock and roll with that. Now you guys consider yourselves, and let me know if I'm wrong, but a DIY band, do-it-yourself band. You guys are pretty much self-sufficient, is that right?
Oh yeah, we're completely 100% self-sufficient as of right now. We do all the booking, we do all the promotion. Our day jobs fund this band, so we basically work to play music.
Nice.
Everything out of our pocket.
Yeah. That's a thing that a lot of people that start a band, they just think that, well, now that I have everybody together, I've got the music, I'm gonna go out there and in 2 weeks I'm gonna be a rock star. They don't understand. I've been in so many bands, they just don't get it. They don't understand that this is gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take you at least 5 years to get noticed by anybody, and then after that you got to stay above and beyond everybody else and make sure that you're on top of your game. So. Being on that subject, any advice that you would like to give to said people about this situation where they say I can be in a band and make it overnight? Is there any advice you would give to new and upcoming artists?
One piece of advice that I would give them is be very picky with who you invite into your band as a musician. Make sure they're as driven as you are. Make sure they have a job, stable income. Make sure they have transportation. And above all, make sure they like what you're doing in the band and they're a dedicated musician and are dedicated at getting better.
Sure. And is there any way that you can kind of notice this other than sitting down with them and talking about this? Is there anything that you've you've come across in your past that you've said this is a best way to know all this information?
Usually, people rattle off the bands that they've been in before, and you can, background check and see online if what they're saying is true. We usually take out our band members when we decide that we are thinking about having them in the band, and we get to know them a little bit better. You can usually get a real good feel for somebody. I mean, that's how I am.
Sure, absolutely.
I really have a good bullshit monitor. So
oh, you kind of have to. I mean, if this is because you consider this a job and a career choice. So if you're in the corporate world, you don't want to hire somebody that's gonna half-ass it. You don't want to do that because that's a waste of your time and energy. So it's the same thing with being in a band. You want to have somebody in there that's going to be dedicated, that's gonna help you as a whole move forward and do things that you guys want to do. So that's just the way it is. Well, in the process of finding everybody and hanging out with everybody, how do you guys? What's your best way of writing? How do you write the best?
Well, we actually have a system. I'm the songwriter of the group lyrically, and I usually, I'm off on my own. I write alone probably about 90% of the time. And then Ross will usually have an idea for a song and be like, hey, I've been doing this riff in my head. Let's see if what you have matches up with that. So that's usually how our system comes together.
And we bring it to everyone, and we jam with it a little bit. And, she would sing kind of just to get a melody. And
magic happens.
Yeah, we kind of start working on it a little bit, then we take it home again if somebody has new ideas, and it's kind of a process. Each song we take our time with each and every song. We don't just kind of write. And every song is thought out, and it takes us time until we decide to record it or release it.
Sure.
It's kind of like a vision. Everybody in this band, we all see the same vision, the same goal.
Very nice. So you guys just aren't one-sided. It is a collective effort.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really dig that. I respect that. What do you guys like to write about?
Let's see.
Tiana, what do you like to write about?
I like to write about poop.
It's saying, what are all your problems that you have, Tiana?
Right.
We have our new EP coming out in February, and basically I'm scared shitless because everybody is going to know who I really am in my private time, and I'm such a happy, smiley, bubbly person that people are going to kind of be surprised about what I write about.
Right. Oh, that's not a bad thing, though. I think it could cause a lot of good things to happen because they get to see the other side, and that's for me at least too. That's where the writing comes out. Is I'm not so much a happy person. I'm more of kind of a dick in real life, but when I when I write songs, it just brings out more of the. Not so much the anger, but the aggression that I have that I can't normally say to somebody because I would get arrested or killed. So it just kind of helps out. But it's not.
No one would know that I have horrible anger issues.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what music is for. That's what I like music about, is because it just lets you release. It lets you have that vehicle to get that stuff out. And for some reason, people like that. So rock and roll, 2 birds, 1 stone. There you go.
Exactly, yeah. I try to write about everything that I would never show somebody. That's the song that I want to write about.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Fair enough. I like it. So you are, you were kind of briefly talked about it, but you're going to be releasing an EP. Is it February coming out?
Yes.
What's it called?
Yeah. It's called This Time It's Personal.
Nice.
Hence the anger issues. Yeah.
How many songs?
It's going to be a 3-song EP.
3-song, nice, very nice. And then what? Where are you going to be able to find this?
It'll be available on iTunes, probably first of all, and then we're going to have a physical release, a physical copy. So if anybody would want to go to our website and purchase it, they would be able to do that as well.
And then later on, we might add it to the other online stores like Rhapsody, Amazon, all the other ones. So we might do that too. So
very cool, very cool. Back in 2011, you guys worked with a Grammy award-winning producer. His name was Robert. What can you tell me about this fine, modern, upstanding gentleman?
Oh, he was a great guy. We had fun in the studio with him. It was a long process. He was really. I don't know how do you
I don't know how to put this.
I mean, unfortunately, we didn't end up releasing any of the tracks that we had when we worked with him, just because it was a really rushed process.
Sure.
No offense to him, he was he tried, and it was a good experience for us as a band.
We were kind of tight on budget, and we kind of had to rush everything in the studio. The whole experience was great, but the final product we didn't think it was good enough to release. So we learned a lot, and we developed our sound, and as a band we grew, but we didn't really want to release whatever happened.
Was that hard to tell him that it's just not what we're feeling? Was that a kind of a hard thing to say to an Grammy award-winning producer?
I mean, he kind of knew already, because I mean he could hear it too. And I guess the people that he had mixing, they were also on a budget, and they were trying to do it as fast as they could. And unfortunately, because we're funding everything from our pockets, we couldn't get an award-winning mixing guy.
Right.
so it was kind of we cut our losses, but then we met our current producer Eric Ron, which was an awesome experience, and those are the 3 songs that we're going to release, which is we felt like it was exactly what we wanted to be as a band. The sound that we wanted to get was exactly what we got with him. So
guy's amazing.
Yeah, he sounds like it.
Our first single, which is out now and available on iTunes, is called Down. And so that's available for everyone to hear. And within 2 weeks of us releasing it, it was added to over 20 different radio stations in the U.S. and the U.K.
Rock and roll!
Yeah!
It just, as forms of advice, like you were saying earlier, just, if one thing doesn't work out, it's cliche, but you got to keep going. Even when you think you can't go anymore, that's when you have to keep going.
Right. Absolutely.
Been so many times where, people have just been like, oh my God, in this band especially, we're like, okay, how much more can we do? We keep running into walls. Like, this is insane. This should not be happening, and
right.
God, we stuck it out. And
you have to stay. I mean, once you're too deep in it, you kind of have to go at some point. We already spent so much time and efforts, and you kind of have to keep going.
Absolutely. That's kind of how I feel about this show. 5 years into it, and I'm like, okay, well, now I have so many of these things going on. I can't really stop it. It's kind of at its momentum. It just kind of does its thing, and it's one of those things where you come to those periods in your life or in your projects that you're doing, like you just said, where you're just like, all right, what else can I possibly do? There's nothing else I can do. And then all of a sudden your brain clicks on and you're like, oh, okay, I could probably do this. And it may suck, but you do it anyway. And it just, eventually something works and something clicks. So keep doing what you guys are doing. You're doing great. I love the sound. I love what you guys are. You guys are great people. And let's see. You guys have actually let's talk about this. There's an event coming up here in Anaheim, and it's called NAMM. One of 2 major events you're going to get to. We'll talk about the other one in here just in a second. But what's going on for you guys at NAMM?
Well, fortunately for us, the owner of Sound Street Studios, which was where we got our band name from, he was kind enough to invite us to NAMM. So we're just going to go there and hopefully talk to a few owners, and the goal for us is to get a sponsorship from one of these companies,
wow.
Because we're going broke.
Yes, I feel that. Yes.
that's the goal for us. We want to be brought to as many people as possible, and with a major company behind us, we'll be able to be exposed to people that didn't know of us before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so pretty much we're preparing our CDs, our EPs, and we're gonna go all guns out. You know, full force. Gonna meet everyone we can. Just hand them the CDs and you know hope for the best.
Sure.
You know, it's a really cool event. So
Yeah,
also we can learn a lot of new things that are coming out. So
I'm excited. Go ahead.
That's good advice. That's really good advice. What we were talking about for other bands that are trying to make it, show your face.
Yeah, you are right. That's one of the things that I think a lot of bands they think that.
For Tiana, that might work.
No,
Oh my goodness.
I'll be in some kind of spread with my goodies hanging out next.
Well, but that's one of the things that bands don't. They think that the crowd is going to come to them. They think that the people are going to come to them. And that's not the case, especially if you're a new band, you're a new artist that's out there. You have to hit the streets. You have to do everything in your power to find these people and get your music in front of them, because they're not going to know who you are. That's one of the reasons why Revolver Underground exists, is because I was actually working at a radio station. I was a DJ at the time when I first started this. And there were so many bands out there. They had a local show on, as many stations do. They have a local show where they just play local music. And I started listening and hearing all of this music, and I just started thinking, there's got to be music like this everywhere. And then I started thinking bigger, that there's music like this all over the world, and that's where Revolver Underground happened. So it's the same thing, you know. If I can give back to these artists and these musicians that have helped me throughout the years become a better musician, then that's what I'm all about. So yeah, get your face out there, get noticed, because otherwise you're just going to be in your garage recording on some stupid 8-track machine.
Right.
8-track. I brought it back.
You know, I always say, you know, have no shame. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even if you think, oh, it's not the right time, blah, 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 who cares? You got that, you know, you got in that person's face and let them know who you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you don't have to be annoying about it or overbearing, you know? So have no shame and let people know who you are, and don't be afraid to shove yourself in someone's face and say, this is what I'm doing, this is my music, check it out.
Yep. And don't be afraid to look stupid, because sometimes stupid sells.
Oh, yeah.
It does. It does.
I mean,
A lot of times, actually.
Yes.
Too much.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So actually, I think I'm gonna show up at NAMM. I'm going with a company called Balcony TV, and I had a chance to hang out with those guys. They have a Nashville chapter, so when I was back in Nashville, they contacted me, or I contacted them. Anyway, we got in contact with each other, and so I started hanging out with those guys. And if you don't know who those guys are, go check them out. BalconyTVNashville.com. They're really cool. There's a chapter here in LA. I don't know what's going on out here yet, but apparently it's decent. So they're a really good place to get on. But anyway, they invited me to come out there and host for them and do some interviews while we're at NAMM. So I probably will end up seeing you guys there, and I'll probably end up doing this all over again.
Nice.
So,
We'll be honored to see you again.
It'll be fun. It'll be good times. Let's talk about South by Southwest. What's going on now? This is actually a huge deal. For those of you out there that don't know what South by Southwest is, you need to look into it, because it's massive. But what's going on for South by Southwest?
Well, that's you know, Austin. Yeah, our new band member, Austin. Robin is from Austin, so we got lucky in that sense. His parents are booking agents over there in Austin.
Nice.
So it was a really great opportunity for us to go and promote our music over at South by Southwest, considering we're having our EP coming out in February.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Robin can tell you a little bit more about it than we probably can, because he's the Austin veteran.
There he is. Come forward, my friend. Come forward. Let us hear your wisdom.
Excuse me.
It's your time to shine, sweetheart.
What do you mean?
So, for those of you out there who don't know what South by Southwest is, it's the second largest music conference. It started out as a music thing strictly, and then it kind of expanded to movies, and then it expanded even more to the interactive portion of it, which is computers, video games, stuff like that. But it's still just a massive music conference where record companies, producers, publicists, online people, what you do. They would come and they would get to go in and listen to like a private showcase. And it's funny to me, growing up in Austin, a lot of people think that South by Southwest is a music festival. So they go down there trying to go see these bands, when in actuality it's not a music festival, it's a conference. So you're probably not gonna be able to go see the band you see. You'll stand out on the road and listen to them. So but yeah, it's a massive influx of people into a city that's actually not that big.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's actually taken over Austin, really.
It literally, Austin proper is literally just massive crowds of people. They have to shut down a lot of streets.
Yeah, that's
which
crazy.
The people who live there.
Well, that's do they ever get really mad about that situation? Are there people that just get pissed about that?
Not at all. The profit of all the bars and everything goes up, way up.
Yeah.
So
rock and roll.
It's kind of a what am I looking for? I cannot remember the phrase right now.
Annoyance.
Yeah, it's an annoyance that people just go, well, we can suffer through a week and a half of this,
right?
So that people know what Austin is,
right?
And it's really worked. I mean, Austin's grown considerably because of South by. So
yeah, it's a great festival. See, I said it too. It's a great thing. Now here's the deal. I've only seen videos. I've never actually gone. And I'm very sad about that. I've actually cried earlier because I read about that. You guys were going and I cried because I never was there.
Want to ride with us?
I do. Let's go. Let's just all hang out and have fun at South by Southwest, and I'll wear pants this time. It'll be fine. It's probably a better option for me. But so recommending South by Southwest to any musician, anybody in general in the music industry would be something you would consider, right?
Yes, I would totally recommend to do that. The way that you do that is unfortunate. You can only do it in one way, and that's to go through a website called Sonic Bids. My big suggestion, having worked with my parents on it and worked at the festival, I did it myself.
See?
At the conference,
I know
myself. As soon as you hear about South by's opening up, you've got to go in and submit.
Right.
And if you can find something to aim your submission at, so for us, we could aim it at, say, Fearless Records. We could shoot for Fearless Records or Roadrunner Records. We could specifically aim for them. That's a better way to get your band heard in a sense. So
you could be more direct as opposed to any other festival or conferences really out there. You can be more direct on who you want to approach.
You can be. Sonic Bids isn't that great. There's like the only time I've ever done it, there was a comments box. Now I don't know if they've changed it. There's a comments box where I went in and just said, okay, we want to, submit this artist for listen by Rounder Records. We would love to be submitted to Rounder Records, which is completely opposite of these guys. Rounder's just like folk music. So
it's my style.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, you go in there, go to Sonic Bids, create an account. You do have to pay for it, but if you get selected, it's completely worth it. You may not get picked up at the first South by convention, but and you may not even get a showcase.
Right.
We had a band last year that came down in a van and just pulled up on the side of the road and just set up and played.
They don't frown on that?
That's an option for us to do, which is set up on the side of the road and play, and they got a massive crowd.
Wow.
See, with him saying, technically, officially, your only way is through Sonic Bids, yes. Right. But you know how life is, and it's about breaking the rules and thinking outside the box. You know what I mean?
No shame.
So, no shame. So, you know what? So I'm like, fuck that. That's not the only way. I'll find out 10 more different ways to get ours noticed. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing with that big of a crowd, you really don't actually have to be in or around that area as much as you would think, because there's so many people everywhere that you literally could set up somewhere and just have a huge crowd just come out of nowhere.
Exactly. The majority of South by takes place on our big Bourbon Street, which is called 6th Street in Austin, and the majority of the whole thing takes place in the downtown district. Now they have unofficial showcases, which we tried for, but they're pretty much all booked up by now.
Not exactly. I just submitted us for one today.
Uh-oh.
booking agent in LA right now.
I'm a liar.
Uh-oh.
We're waiting to hear back.
So
I sense another interview coming on.
See, there you go. But you know, you gotta. Most bands think small. They think go to South by Southwest randomly, stand outside the venues, and hand out our CDs, and only go for A&R people. No, you go to the restaurants and the bars where people are not listening to music, and you hand out your stuff. You hand them out to the employees at the restaurants and bars. You know what I mean? It's all about going around the problems that you think you have, or that you think, you know, are so contained.
So size matters.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you heard it right there. Size matters. I'm just that's it right there.
According to Ron Jeremy.
This interview just went downhill.
Jeremy, I met him in Hollywood once. It's funny. It's long story.
Well, yeah, we'll have to get to that interview. That's the extra scenes. That's the bonus scenes right there.
Oh my God! No. I think he secretly wished something would happen,
Right.
but
Right. Oh, Ron Jeremy. Crazy cracker. So the best show you've ever done. What does that look like?
I say for us, the best show we've done, we actually did a showcase for Hollywood Records, and it was phenomenal. We had such good energy. Everybody in the room was screaming and yelling and on their feet, and we got the biggest applause. We did so awesome. Yeah. We did so awesome. Personally, for me, that was my favorite show that we've done.
It was my first show with them, too.
It was the first show that
yeah.
So, but it had nothing to do with you, though, right? I mean, just because it was your first show, or were you the secret ingredient?
He was. I think he was.
Maybe there'll be a side interview with you later.
He was a huge upgrade, you know.
Very nice, very nice. Well, there are, I'm sure that this is a new year. This is 2013 now. If you didn't know, it's 2013, so surprise. But I'm sure there are some new things that you guys want to do for 2013. What are some of those things?
A lot of things.
Oh God, so
build
much.
a winery.
I will come to that. I will definitely be at that one. Yeah,
you know,
I'm there.
First and foremost for us, you know, would be just to get more people noticing our music.
Yeah, gotta create the buzz about the band.
Create the buzz about us. You know, we are unsigned. We're unaffiliated. We're not signed with anybody, management-wise. You know, or record company-wise. So, you know, we just want to get people excited about the music and emotionally connect to the music, because when you're emotionally involved in something, you will fight to the death for it, you know.
Absolutely. So that being said, do you guys have, are you guys wanting to do like a major label or something like that, or do you guys want to stay indie but just kind of hire other people to do the things for you? What's your take on that?
We're not opposed to major labels, you know. Obviously, you know, because we finance this band, it would be great to have some of that pressure taken off our shoulders, you know. But anybody that would love to come at us with an offer, we are not turning anyone down. Right. So it's whoever believes in our music and is excited about it as we are, and is really a hard worker and into being as passionate as we are. Come on down, you know.
Absolutely.
We'll never stop working hard. Our goals, our list of goals, just gets bigger and bigger, and it just consistently evolves over for more complicated things. We're always trying to grind.
And that's good, because if your list stops moving forward, if it stops expanding, there's no reason to keep going. So you know, that's really good. So that's very, very, very awesome. Well, this is going to be kind of a hard question, and not hard as in screw it. I'm just going to ask it. The most memorable thing a fan has ever said to you guys. Yeah, see?
Twitter, there's a bunch of...
I don't need a bunch. I just need one. One is good.
Oh, my gosh.
Tiana?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. What?
Nothing, never mind.
I can't think of one right now. I mean, not a specific comment, but just having people come up to you and literally, like, physically taking a hold of you and making you stop and say, listen, I am so excited about your music. I was so impressed by that show. I've had a lot of male guys come up to me and say, hey, look, that was an amazing show, and I came up to you because you're a girl, and I didn't expect that from a girl.
I get that a lot.
You know, exactly. Yeah, you know, I don't want to.
Very awkward.
It's funny to me because I almost forget that I'm a girl in a band, like that it's different, I guess. You know?
Mine was when somebody did a video of a cover for one of our songs, like a guitar cover.
Ooh.
Me, it's like, okay, if somebody's trying to learn my song and, you know, do a little video on YouTube, you know, that's, to me, it means like, okay, it means a lot to them.
Was it good?
So, it was all right.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't watch this.
Pretty good. Not better than me.
Wow. Anybody else?
For our fans too, at least it's not just memory, because I personally, I don't have a favorite one. It's been anyone who's came up to us to talk to us after. That's just another thing I also wanted to say for this band. For any of our fans that see us show, please talk to us after. Come up to us and talk to us after. We would love to give you our time.
Very cool. Yeah.
That's
good. I don't like bands that just get off the stage and they go away. I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I was at a show one time in Nashville, and there was a major band. I'm not going to say their name, but I'll type it on Facebook later. But people paid some pretty decent money for this. I didn't, because I was a DJ and I got in for free because I'm awesome like that. But
got the hookup.
People paid a lot of money for these guys, and they put on a freaking awesome show. But they got off stage, literally, they didn't even touch ground. They walked off of the stage onto their bus, and they were gone. They didn't even touch the ground one time when they were there. They were on their bus, they got on stage, they played their show, they got off stage onto their bus, and they left. I'm like, really? That's what you did? And then later on, because so many people were mad about it, they came out with this thing, well, he was sick. Could have said that. Could have said something.
But what about the other band members, right?
Yeah, exactly. They could stay and hang out. What's going on? I don't understand.
I mean, might as well not even do the show at that point.
You know, that brings me to a big point that I always say as a musician. I always say a lot of times musicians forget what it's like to be fans.
Yep.
And when I was younger, when I was a little girl, I made sure that I went and I saw my favorite band, and I went Bear Grylls style. You know, I would stay out for 4 days and in the cold, hungry, and freezing to death. You know, and then I know what it was like to see somebody for 5 seconds.
Right.
You know, and to feel that emotion of how important that was, and to hear the music, it made the music that much better for me. Exactly. It's like worked for it. You know, so we're a band. We have a quote that we say: we treat our fans like they're the rock stars.
Nice, nice.
You know.
So that means you guys take care of all of your social networking sites. You're the ones, if they're hearing from somebody on the social networking sites, it's one of you guys.
Yes, 100%.
We will promise that.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Usually one of these two guys.
That's fine. That'll work for me. Well, what about this? Something your fans may not know about you.
I am actually very, very shy and introverted.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I would never be that way to somebody that, you know, came up to me and talked about my music, but I have really bad social skills. So if I'm at a party and I know absolutely nobody, you will find me in the corner or running down the street away from the party.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm an electrician.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
we met.
That's how we. Yeah, that's a fun fact for the band. I was installing a ceiling fan in her apartment, and that's how we met. I heard her play the piano, and I'm like, oh, this girl can sing. And I was just in between bands at the time, and
hold on, I gotta start a rumor. Hold on a second. I gotta type this up. I gotta start a rumor real quick. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was pretty much kind of one of those things that were meant to be. You know, she was practically just sitting in her house, you know, playing her piano, and there I was, like, hey, you want to try out for my band? And
I was depressed as all hell because my band that I had just started fell apart. The guy went off to San Francisco, and here I was stuck with no band.
Wow.
So yes, I want to start a band with you. Please, here's my card.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's I think that's probably the most unique story I've heard so far. I was an electrician, and she needed her fan put in, so...
Yeah, put it in that way.
It's already been put. It's already on the internet.
Done,
It was actually so funny because, he had been coming around to the house for a couple of months, and he didn't... One word!
So he's been stalking for some time.
No, I've been working around the property and I've seen her, but I never. Yeah.
He didn't say one word, so I assumed that one, he was mute, or he speak English. So I never opened my mouth. So it took a while. He started talking to me. I was like, he can talk.
So I'm assuming there was some sort of a tryout period where because obviously you didn't really know what each other was capable of. So there's some sort of tryout period, and then all of a sudden you guys decided you meshed.
We had an audition which went really bad, and I have the recording of those. Probably in a few years we'll release them as a bonus.
It was literally the worst audition I have ever done, just for me as a vocalist. I was like, these people have mental problems if they're hiring me as a vocalist.
Wow. Well.
Yeah. And look what it's become.
Yes. Look.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So where can we go and find your music currently?
You can
iTunes.
Yeah, right now it's available on iTunes. If you just type in Varna down, you'll find it. And we're always available on our social networking sites. We're on Facebook /Varna Band, YouTube /Varna Band, Twitter /Varna Band. So everything with us is Varna Band.
Varna Band. Okay, and you can pretty much just Google that, and you'll find it, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's it right there, guys. That's all I have. Is there something that you would like to say that's going to make people feel awkward right now? I like to leave on awkward notes. Buy our shit. I know.
With Rob's baby. No.
Anybody need a ceiling fan fixed? Anywho, I don't know what this has been good. I like this one. This was a good one. All right, guys. Well, that's Varna right there. Go check them out everywhere they are. Just Google them, or you can go find them at revolverunderground.com. Click on artists. They are there as well. But go check them out. They're great guys, great people. Well, one's not a guy that I'm aware of, but that's fine. Whatever. We're working on it.
Awkward fact of the day.
Yeah, awkward. There it is, right there. Very nice. Very nice. Thanks, guys, so much. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm E-Rock. Peace.
Revolver Underground.